Hi folks, welcome back to the shop here at Project Pine Hills. Today we're talking about this Klein Tools 11-in-1 Blackout Edition. It's a screwdriver, nut driver. You can pause the video there and check out the bit loadout. See it comes in this blackout packaging. Quick look at the back, you can check out the bit loadout. And you can see here that it's made in Taiwan. Now this Blackout Edition is brand new from Klein. I'll have a link in the video description so you can check it out. All right, here's a look at that 11-in-1 Blackout. And you can see this is the Blackout version of the Klein Tools 11-in-1 that typically has that yellow acetate handle and it has chrome there on the end. Now this is an older one I've had for quite some time. If we look at the end here, you can see that they're both labeled 11-in-1, but you'll notice there the Blackout version that I have here is a little bit longer. And you can see the lettering I have here on this other one is different. It stands out on the handle, so they might have updated this driver. I don't know how this compares to a newer one. I'll have to see if I can find one here somewhere, but there's a look at what it looks like, right? The yellow acetate part is black. The grip on it's a black sort of matte grip, consistent with other Klein tools. But yeah, just a very good looking tool, especially if you like Blackout tools. Might be a little hard to find if you misplace it, but that's really not the point of Blackout. If you look here, you'll see it's got that same model number that the 11-in-1 has, the 32500 number, BLK or black there at the end of that part number. Now Klein's come out with several different versions of this. I showed you this older 11-in-1 here. They make a magnetic 11-in-1 screwdriver. I have right here, I have a couple of those. Here's one I've had for a long time. And if you look here, you'll see this Blackout 11-in-1 is about as long as the magnetic 11-in-1, right? So the links are similar between these two. This is, I think, a Klein 10-in-1. And you'll notice as you go down the bit counts that the bits get larger and they have more reach. So keep that in mind as you look at different bit drivers. For example, I've got this LUT 6-in-1 here. Because it's only a 6-in-1, not 11-in-1, you can see that the bits have more reach and they're larger in general than what you'll see in that 11-in-1. But then Klein came out with the Impact 11-in-1, and then shortly after that they came out with a ratcheting Impact 11-in-1. And this one, of course, has a ring here you can switch. Gives you a ratcheting screwdriver. And of course, this one's designed for your impact. You can take the bits off, grab your impact, you can put them in there and use it in your impact driver as well. Here's a Klein Tools 8-in-1 HVAC, very handy. Has less bits on it, but you can see it has this nut runner here where you can just turn a 1/4-inch screw, and if you want to go up to a 5/16, you just push it forward and you can pop a 5/16 in there, right? And to keep this from sliding down, you can spin this threaded piece out here and then it backs this up where you can't push that down. So lots of different options from Klein. Really like this Blackout. It's a neat looking tool. I know a lot of folks are excited about this. I'll have a link in the description, but if we open it up here, you can see how it's laid out. It's got smaller bits. Again, it's 11-in-1. That's your Phillips number 2 and your 1/4-inch slotted bit. This is a 1/4-inch driver here, right? So you can drive a 1/4-inch screw with it. And it's hollow, of course. There's no magnet in there. Pop your bit back in there. If you take this out, we now have a 5/16 driver here. Okay, so you can drive 5/16 screw, again, hollow. So on the other end of this, you can see we have our other Phillips option. There's a Phillips size number 1, and there's our 3/16 slotted bit. All right, we pull this out, flip it around. Now we have a couple of Torx options here and another 1/4-inch nut driver, right? You'll notice the walls of that are a little bit thicker, and that's because what's underneath of it there, this one's 3/8. This comes in really handy when you're switching out garbage disposals. In fact, you can use this tool by itself to switch out a garbage disposal. It's got all the tools you need on it. And on the other end of this, we have 2 square bits, right? Number 2 here, square, and that's a number 1 square. So that square number 1 bit comes in handy for your receptacles and switches. Fits right in there in the center of that screw. So it's handy to have that on here. All right, let's check the bit fitment on this screwdriver. You can see here the tip of the screwdriver is not magnetic. It's not picking up that screw. If I put this screw on here, you can see that it holds that screw even though I turn it upside down. And if I grab this screw, you can see that I can actually hold the screwdriver by the screw. In fact, I can even turn it up on a right angle. So you can see it's got good bit fitment on this Klein 11-in-1 Blackout Edition. And of course, this Blackout Edition, it's compatible with the original 11-in-1, right? Take that out, take that shaft. You can see they have similar shafts. The Blackout's just a little bit longer, so there's some subtle differences between the two I've noticed, but they are compatible. I can take the Blackout, put that in the original handle, and of course you could take the chrome version here in the original and put it in the Blackout handle. So they have the same mechanisms, completely compatible with each other. And if you're wondering what else this might be compatible with, of course I can take this shank out. Here's the HVAC 8-in-1. Pop that off and you can put that sort of chrome and black handle together from the Blackout. So that's pretty cool. Of course it won't say 8-in-1 here on the end, but you can flip it around and it will work with that same shank that this guy has on the HVAC 8-in-1. Same's true for the 11-in-1 magnetic driver. Of course it'll come out. You can also put it in the Blackout handle. It does look pretty cool, this black and chrome combo. I got to say looks pretty neat, but it will work with anything that has these wings on the sleeve. Okay, so, but it's not going to work with the Klein 11-1 impact. Because if you take it out, you'll see this has got that hex collar on it. It's part of the Klein Connect system. And if you put it in here, that hex stops because the sleeve on this is round. There you go. That's a Klein Tools 11-1 Blackout. I do think it looks really cool. So you can see on the end of this tool, it is stamped 11-1 and it's inked with white ink. So you can see that when it's vertically stored in your bag. But yeah, that's 11-1 Blackout. Looks really neat. I like this a lot more than I thought I would. Really like the finish on this. Just a really neat tool to have. And of course it matches up with anything else you have. It's Blackout. I've got the Vitotech MCT Blackout Edition here. So really cool tool from Klein. It's amazing how handy these 11-1 tools are. I'll have a link to this in the description. And Klein's had some other updates as well. I made a video about this 13-in-1 pocket screwdriver before, and you'll notice that this one has a blue ring on it. All right, well, Klein has updated this. This part number is 32611P. They've come out with a 32600 part number that I think is more of an electrician screwdriver. So this one's blue, sort of for plumbers. This one has 3 hex sizes in it. I think it's for like taking handles off of plumbing fixtures. The other version has a square number 1 and 2 and a torque size 15. So I'll have a link in the description so you can check that out as well. So it's another nice option from Klein. So there you have it. It's the Klein Tools 11-1 Blackout Edition. I'll have a link in the video description so you can check it out. And please remember to like and subscribe. Those actions help me to continue to bring content to you here on the Project Pine Hills channel. And with that said, I'll catch you in the next video.